Chur Whanau, it is your boy T, and happy Sunday. I know we're winding down now. Just sat down to record the second episode of Down to the T. So I hope you guys enjoyed the very first episode, which I released last week, talking about finding yourself and having that positive mindset to go along with it too. So hope you guys really enjoyed it. I had a few people hit out at me, so thank you so much for your love, guys. And I hope you enjoyed the second episode where I'm going to be covering pretty much the key message I want to focus on today is about the product of the environment, and that's in regards to, I guess, the company that you sort of keep around you, whether they be positive or negative. And we're going to look into a deeper dive of it all and try and highlight the positives or like the pros and the cons of it as well. Plus a few experiences of people in my life as well. I'd like to share a bit of that with you guys too. Obviously, the highs and the lows of it all. Um, but before we go into that, just want to raise another cheers to all my beautiful people out there, guys. I hope you've had a blessed weekend. Hope you've gone out and absolutely smashed whatever it is that you're trying to achieve in your life. And I'm pretty excited to get the second episode knocked off today. So I'm coming with that really upbeat and that high energy. I just feel like I'm coming off a really big win this weekend. And, that's a lot to come down to the people that I have surrounded by me in my life as well. I had a training session today with one of my good mates now. I've only met him probably about month and a half ago. And pretty much since then, we've just hit it off like that. And you can already tell about people, you can see the energy and their good morals and their goodwill and everything that they sort of bring to the table just within themselves, and that's the type of people that you want to surround yourself in, is that just has a positive outlook on their life for one, but it doesn't feel like it's a chore or it's stressful on yourself, you know what I mean? And that's the type of people that you need to surround yourself with. But yeah, I just had a really good training session with the bro today. We played b-ball on Friday night, so we recovered yesterday. Just had that bit of downtime as well, because you do need that downtime as well if you're physically stressed, or mentally stressed and your body's not feeling it. It's better off now to actually listen to your body. It's a very important thing of life that you really need to focus on, is just making sure that you listen to your body, listen to what you're telling yourself, and everything else will pretty much follow. It's just about taking care of you first. You're the priority. Nobody else has that dictation over you, so you can only look over the la lo lo. I can't even English. I swear I haven't had. This is my first one. I swear. But yeah, the best thing to do is just always look after yourself, because you are the one that's in control. All right. But I'll take a quick sip here. Oh, beautiful. Whiskey on the rocks, guys. Actually, if you're a whiskey drinker, though, this one I'm having is called Copper Dog. So I believe this one's a Scottish whiskey. It's not too bad. I was going to have it on the rocks, but no ice is in the freezer, so I'm just going as is. But it still goes down pretty good, though. So if you're a whiskey drinker, give this one a shot. And actually, even let me know of what's your favorite drop as well, and I'll be keen to try it out in the next episode too, and I'll give you guys my thoughts on it. But all right. Anyway, let's move on. Let's go, baby. Key message today: product of the environment. First point that I'm going to be covering today is about that positive company, and the pros of that is also being, having that positive company usually means that it's like-minded people that you have incorporated into your circle, or the same people you're trying to achieve similar goals. Same thing is you keep each other accountable. Well, not really so much. You can keep each other accountable, but you are utterly in control of that yourself. You have to be accountable for you. But it's a good thing, because if they're keeping themselves in check, it sort of encourages you to do the same thing as well. So it can help motivate you to just keep on pushing through, because you do have some bad days, and that's just fucking life, bro. You know, we all have our good days, we all have our bad days as well, but it's what you choose to do with that as well. All right, and that's with having that positive mindset. So that means if you do have those like-minded people around, you know, they're gonna come with that positive force, and uh, they can be it's a really good support system that you can distill within each other, and that means you're just gonna pick each other up naturally. You know, we'll be like, all right, you know, we got to go at this again. This shit happens in life. Pick yourself up, and let's just fucking go at it again. All right, just reset, go back at it again, baby, and that's where it comes down to, bro. And that's from having a positive environment, so a positive group of friends. You know, that circle of friends as well. It's so fucking important to have the right people around you, because honestly, you can get some bad eggs in the bunch, and it can ultimately be a detriment to what you're trying to achieve and how you feel, you know, your way of life and all that too. And I've been a victim of that a fair few times in my life as well. But, you know, there's a reason why I don't hang out with a fair few people nowadays. Like, I got all the people in my life that I feel like I need to at the moment. You know, they are great people. Look at some of them as family, you know. I look at some friends and class them as family more than a lot of other people, you know what I mean? So it's very important, the company that you're keeping. It is so fucking important, and I don't think a lot of people realize this. You realize that you're just going around in circles, but that's because you essentially become the people that you hang around with that have no sort of ambition in life. And I want to try and focus more on the positive sides, because this is my first point about all the positives and everything that can come from it, before I go into the negative influence of things. But not only that, just having that positive company around, it just brings so much more good vibes. You know, it's just always the vibes of being happy. You know, just the overall happiness and a joy, and it's a joy to be around those types of people in life, just because it's just so what's the best word to describe it? It's just, it always feels like you're up, you know. And I don't want to refer to it as being like a drug, you know, but you know how it's that infectious feeling of being around someone that's so excitable and always up there. Like, you can't be down there, you know. You're just naturally, it's like contagious in a way, you know. And you sort of just I don't know, I guess you just adopt it in a way. Like, you can't help it. It's just a good vibe. Bang, you're bouncing off of each other, you know. And it's just a positive fucking thing to be around, bro. You know, whereas if you're always around negative people, they're always gonna have like that negative mindset. You know, I could tell you something, right? Let's just say, all right, I hit a new PB in the gym. I just deadlifted 190 kilos. And they're like, why are you even lifting that heavy there? You know? Or is that it? You know? The point I'm trying to get, though, is that you could just bring up something positive, and they could just flip it into a negative just like that. You know, it might not even be their fucking main intention, but it's just their negative mindset, which just quickly goes straight to it like that. You know, and a lot of people aren't really aware of themselves and of their negative mindset that they already have on themselves. One, it could be a lot of things. They could be going through a lot of emotional like trauma. They could be suffering from like depression and all that type of stuff as well. And I understand that those are some of the side effects from it too. Like, I mean, personally going through all of that stuff, you know, there was years and years ago going through some troubles in my life, where I was just always a negative thinker. You know, I could always find a negative to every situation, you know, and that would initially always be, I guess, my first sort of response to a lot of people, you know. And it'd just be in a smart remark type of you know, reply. And you know, you try and do that to be as a joke, but you know deep down that's what you truly mean. You're trying to be that negative. You just can't help it because you're in that negative mindset. Um, and it greatly affects your mood too. Like if you're around somebody like that all day, you're just naturally gonna start thinking fucking negatively, bro. Like I bet your first negative thought of that would be, "Fuck, he's such a negative fucking person," and that's you already having that doubt and that negative opinion on someone else. And that'll be the first time when you pick up on it, you'll be like, "Fucking hell, man, I'm sick of hanging around with this fucking person. They're just negative all the fucking time." Bang, look at that. That's right there. That's a prime example of that. That's already starting to affect you. A lot of people don't pick up on it early on, but it's actually pretty fucking big. It's one of the most common ones. So it can definitely affect how you're feeling as well. And then that shit just becomes infectious. It's contagious in a way that it'll get to the point where you find yourself going in little slumps. And it's just hanging around those sorts of people, man. Like, I think the earlier you pick up onto it, like, it might just be a one off. It might be a bad day for that person. And, we all have our bad days, and that is completely fine being like that, okay? But if this is like a reoccurring thing, it's just a common factor about that person, or if this is just how they are, that's someone that's eventually going to sort of bring you down with them. And really, they have to try and find it out for themselves. You can only do so much to try and help a person, or maybe open their eyes a little bit more up to it, or maybe make them aware of what they're actually doing to themselves, or even to yourself for one. It's always a good way to bring it up into conversation. But usually, when it gets to that point, when you sort of raise your concern with that person, it tends to end up into an argument because they'll just look at you as being the bad person and be like, "Well, you look at you, you're pulling me up on shit like this. Look," and it's just a back and forth. It's honestly a waste of time, and honestly, you're in control of yourself. They're in control of what they're doing in life. So sometimes you just have to let them find it out for themselves if they want to be like that, and it's completely up to them. But I know you want fucking better for yourself. So it's all about surrounding your people. Let me just have a quick one of these. Oh, that's good. But yeah, it's all about surrounding yourself with the right people in life. Um, Let me just tell you about this experience of my life. So there was like many, many years ago, I was with my brother back in Queensland. I don't really, I haven't spoke to him for a couple of years now. It's rough because growing up, he was a person that I tended to idolize in life. He was someone that I looked up to as like a male figure. Um, it's hard to see where he is in life, but there was sad times. He had a lot of shit happen to him in life, and honestly, it's heartbreaking to see him go through a lot of it. But it's how he chose to deal with a lot of it, which is pretty much where it's led him to his point in his life right now. But we used to go around different houses. We didn't really have a spot to stay, chilling out with a few different people. And then eventually drugs and all that type of thing come along, gone into the scene, and then using alcohol and drugs and all of that as an escape to all of our reality. But there was just, it come from one person, and that shit just spreads, bro. You don't realize like how much of an impact that this shit can really have on people, bro, just by being in that environment. I would say that myself personally, I don't think I could ever be influenced on like all these hardcore drugs and shit like that. I don't feel like anyone can peer pressure me into that because I'm that type of person where I will fucking do something, you know, because I want to fucking do it initially, you know what I mean? So I've never had really any ambition to ever try any of these like meth and all these other fucked up drugs that you can get today, bro. And it's sad, like, because there was some people that I never thought it would have affected. One being my brother, and I think it just starts off as, oh, just give this a try. Just try this, and that's where it starts. It starts from your friend group, because you're initially just gonna trust someone that claims to be a friend. You know what I mean? So you put all that trust into them. Bang, try this, and it's fucked up, bro. Honestly, it's a crazy thing, but we're going around house to house. We didn't really have any sort of stability at this point of our life, and we're just trying to make ends meet. We weren't working at that time. We were trying to get a job, and a lot of things were happening at the same time, like personally with family matters. We had a fair few people like pass away at the time, so we had a lot of emotional trauma and grieving that we were going through at the time, and it was just adding up one after the next. And I think for my brother, especially going through rough relationships like breakups and losing some of our friends and our family, just that one after the other, I think it just accumulated over time, and I think that's also what pushed him into doing that. And I remember one time, it was actually a pretty traumatic, not really traumatic experience. I guess it caught me off guard. I took my brother over. He said he was going to go pick up some photo frames from one of his mates' house. I'm not going to name anyone. I don't want any of that shit. But still, I don't fuck with any L. So if you do watch this, you know what it is, bro. But I'm just focused on me. I want to be me. And but yeah, I dropped him off over there. I was waiting for him. I was outside for about half an hour. I'm thinking, fuck, man, he was only going to be 5 minutes. Jumped out, go through the door, and I was like, yo, where's my bro? Oh, in the kitchen. I walk in the kitchen, open up the kitchen door. Bang, what do I see? I see him smoking ice out of a light bulb. And I was just like, what the fuck, bro? It caught me off guard, eh? I was honestly speechless, because that's the last person that I would have thought that would have done that. It was a hard thing to see, but something that I've come to terms with now, and I hope that later on down the track he can find himself again, because I think he's definitely lost with where he is, but because of the people that he hangs out with and who he's in a relationship with, I don't think it's going to be any time soon. So I just hope that he finds his way back, because we've tried to help him so many times over the years, and there's only so much you can do. You can help somebody as long as they want to be helped, but when they're not in a position to receive that yet, there's not really much that you can do. And if anything, you put your hand out and you tend to get your hand bitten a fair few times, because you try and see the good in someone. What that person was once like, and to see them be someone that you don't even know anymore. That's the position that I'm currently in. It's pretty hard to see, and it's pretty hard to take, but I mean, I haven't seen him for about a couple of years now, and haven't spoke to him for a couple of years, and it's rough, like, but I mean, that's someone that I just had to sort of cut off just for now, man. Just in this point of my life where I'm going, I want to move forward and I want to achieve a lot of things for myself. There's a bigger picture that I'm working towards, man, and I want to use all these experiences of my life, and just all my morals and all these points that I'm bringing across to you guys, just to help you guys level yourself up. I'm still on the way up, man. I'm just like that average Joe, but I've always had this thing about myself, how I know I'm meant for more in this life, and I know there's a lot that I have to offer to people out there, and I feel like I've gone through a lot of shit in my life just so I can help share that with you guys, and I guess pass my knowledge on as well. I'm not saying that I know it all because I don't. That's the thing. That's a stretch. But I just want to be real. I want to be raw and share a lot of share a lot of my learnings that um, I've been taught over the years. And sometimes the negative influence from people is your own fucking family too. Like I tried to help my brother so many times, and honestly, I would always be there to help my brother in that position if he asked for it. He was never one to ask. I remember one time I was down at the Gold Coast and he actually broke into my house and stole about $800 from my, you know, for my personal training sessions and that stuff that I just accumulated over time during COVID. I was just trying to make ends meet, and then I would get home and find that all my stuff has been raided, and I'm like, shit. And I was like, did I put it somewhere else? And then I was like looking around, I was like, nah, it was definitely there. And that's when I discovered, and I hit my brother up, and he's like, oh yeah, I just had to borrow it. I'm like, you didn't even ask, bro. I can laugh about it now. At the time, I was just seeing red, and I honestly wanted to, smack him up. But, but we can't change these things, and it's a lesson. And sometimes you just got to cut people off like that because honestly, they're not bringing you any good in your own life. They're just trying to eat off your plate, if anything, you know, just to justify them keep on making excuses for their life or for the shit that they're doing. Like, I mean, my brother has gone through some crazy shit. He's gone through a lot of crap in his life. But you know what? You can't fucking blame the world for everything, bro. Like, there is a lot of shit that everyone goes through in their fucking life, but you can't just keep on making excuses for why nothing else can fucking change for yours. And man, I feel like this passion is really coming out of me now, just because I know I understand. Like, that was me again this year. I was not taking accountability. I was like, fuck, she done this, he done this. This keeps on happening. But man, you are in fucking control of what can happen next, man. And this is the shit that I'm trying to stress to everyone. We can sit back, we can be fucking lazy, we can make up all the fucking excuses in the world of why nothing can fucking change for us. But you're not willing to go out and fucking make things change for you, bro. It's crazy. I need a drink. Alright, I just need to recoup for a second. And remember, this is not coming away across in a negative manner. I want this to be a positive way. But this is just the realness behind it all. People point the fingers, people make excuses, but aren't doing anything to fucking make it change for themselves. But you know what? It's fucking it's just one of those things though. But it also comes from the impact of others that you have around you though. So obviously if you're hanging around that certain friend group, going out partying, fucking doing drugs and all that stuff in the regular, to use that as an escape, obviously shit's just gonna fucking be on a downward spiral from there. It's just how it's gonna be. So it is important, the key people that you have around you. You want positive people to make a happy environment for yourself. That way you can achieve similar goals together. You're always motivated. You can keep yourself accountable. You can keep your close friends accountable too. You have a great support system, and networking is one of the biggest ones of it too. I've networked with a fair few people over my life and over the careers of like being a personal trainer in the boxing gym, and I met some amazing people that I would never have probably crossed paths with if I was just working back at like the furniture warehouse or what I'm currently doing now. I met some awesome CEOs of like professional sports teams, like some really good mates from there. Some lawyers. Um, who else we got? We got like technical gurus and you know what is it like CEOs of like civil construction and There's so many different people that I've met over my years of training people, and it's been amazing. It's such a positive thing, and that's just from networking. That's one of the biggest things that I think people tend to underestimate is networking, because you never know what that person could do for you. And I don't mean go looking for people just to see what they're doing, just so you can get a leg up. You do that because they're awesome people, and then you have a general or a genuine conversation with that person, and then you might find out they're doing something amazing or something that you want to get into yourself, but you wouldn't know if you didn't have that conversation with them. So man, I'm honestly blessed, and I'm so grateful for the people that have walked into my life, who's walked out of my life as well, because I guess they all served a purpose. But it was always a good experience nonetheless, and that's the awesome thing. So remember, I think you need to do a check on who you have around you, because it's either going to work in your favor or you're going to be at the bottom along with that group of people too. And I don't mean that in a bad way. As long as if they're happy in their life, that's good. If you're not happy, you need to take a closer look as to why. Because sometimes it could be people that are affecting your mindset and how you feel overall. The third point I want to get into, I want to talk about minimizing our time with people who are detriment to you. You know, and that's pretty much also what we covered in the last one. Because there comes a time in your life where you tend to outgrow somebody, and that's just a natural way of life. A natural way of life is just always progressing. It's like, for an example, we progress with age. That's just a natural way of life. We always, go up. We always get older. It's that general, or not general. It's more like just a natural way of life. You're always progressing. You're always moving somewhere. In careers, you're always progressing higher up. It's or fitness. You're always getting fitter over time. But you see, there's always a progression somewhere in life. But and that's the same way when you outgrow someone too. Doesn't mean that you hate them. It just means that you're at different phases of your life. So sometimes you just have to minimize your time with people, especially if they're negative. If you do like them and they might be going through a rough time, maybe just always be there in the background to support that person. But you need to let them find it out for themselves. Minimize your time because it can affect how you feel also. And sometimes you have to cut people off, fucking full stop. It's like what I've done to my brother and that. I don't really fuck with him anymore. A fair few other people in my family I don't fuck with anymore. And that's just how it is, bro. Like, it come to a point where it's a detriment to me on how I'm feeling in my fucking life. And if it's affecting me like deeply, you need to cut that shit off or minimize it, depending on what your situation is. I tend to minimize my time with a lot of people. I try not to have any beefs or anything anymore. Just because, one, it's a fucking waste of energy. It's a waste of time. And honestly, it's just fucking pointless. I could go out and get into multiple scraps with people that I didn't like, but where the fuck is that gonna get me? And I'm just bringing more negative energy into the same fucking situation that I'm trying to get away from. So that's why I'm just trying to be me, be on the higher side of life, and just be happy overall with who I am. If people want to talk shit about me, that's all good. I ain't fucking with you. It's all good. And I don't even care. I'm happy, baby. We right here. I'm sipping this bloody whiskey, bro. But yeah, definitely don't be afraid. That's the biggest thing. Sometimes you're afraid of what they think or what they're going to say about you. That is no reflection on what you're trying to achieve in your life. If they're not good for you, just minimize your time or cut it off. Because that shit is infectious, bro. and that's just going to pull you down. It's going to make you miserable in life. It's not worth it, believe me. You're better than that. You don't deserve all of the shit that might be around you. So you need to upskill yourself, upskill your people, and choose the right people to be in your circle. Last point that I'm going to touch on is just a reminder to yourself is that you are the pilot. You are in control. You get to see the direction of where you are heading for yourself. All right. And a good way to do that is obviously choosing the help or choosing who can help you get to that place that you want to be in life. And as I was saying in that previous point, it's not so you can take advantage of people, so you can get a leg up in life. That's definitely not what I fucking mean by that. So that's just using people to your advantage. I don't mean like that at all. If it's something that you can bring each other, if you can bring something to the table with your inner circle, there's a reason why you are there, all right? And if you're a genuine person and you really care about the people that you have around you for the right meaning or for the right purposes, then that's going to be fucking good, all right? You'll just be naturally happy. It's going to be a huge benefit having those types of people around in your life, And the biggest thing to do is find someone or find the right people, or the right friend group by coming across people and being friends with people that resonate with what you're doing or with who you are, Like, say, if you go to the gym, fuck, there might be a lot of different personalities in the gym, but I guarantee that you're going to be finding someone that is on the same goal as what you're trying to achieve, and you might have the same similarities. They might, you might do a training session together, and it'll feel fucking 100 times better training with that person than it might be with somebody else. But that's just because of the positivity that they bring. It could be a lot more of the similarities, and they might resonate and have a few things in common with who you are. And that's fucking great. And that comes from that networking once again. Don't be afraid to spark up a conversation. You could have a genuine conversation. You could find out so much about a person. And it could almost be like you're talking to a mirror, because you find someone that you're just so compatible with, or that resonates with you so much, and you just click. That's the amazing thing. But that's the biggest thing. Remember, you're in control of what you're doing. You're in control of who you talk to or you choose to hang around with. So don't make excuses. Look deeper within. If you're not happy, if there's people that are a detriment to you, I think you minimize your time. And even if it gets to the point where you're on different waves or different phases in life, they might be going down a path that you don't want to follow. That's when you need to sort of cut that off. And it doesn't mean that you hate them. It just might mean that you're in different levels in life. Who knows, they might get there. Everyone's on their own sort of pathway though. Everyone has their own timeline. Everyone moves at different levels in life, at different speeds. It's up to them to find that out for themselves. But remember, be smart with who you choose to associate with or hang out with, because that can ultimately affect you. All right. But that's pretty much going to wrap up episode number 2, guys. So just being a product of your environment. So just some awesome key points that I went through there before. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. Looking forward to the next one. I'm just going to keep on drinking this one. Oh, it's so smooth, bro. I honestly love it, eh? But yeah, just a reminder, guys, also, because on this podcast, I'm really going to dive pretty deep into like the mental health topics, and, just some of my life experiences, spread positivity, fitness and all that type of stuff too. So if you guys really click with that, or if you know someone else that you think this podcast may resonate with, honestly, I swear I'm slurring my words right now. This is still my first one. I just can't talk. Got a little bit shy. But yeah, remember, guys, if you know someone very close to you that you think that this podcast may resonate with, make sure to share this with them, okay? Also, if you guys have any questions too, make sure you leave a comment below or hit me up on my DMs or anything like that, and I'll be happy to answer into the next episode. But before I go, I want to leave a question for you guys, okay? This is for all the other people around there that have maybe surpassed a lot of other people in life and from having the right friend group. So I want to know, how much did you achieve when you minimized your time with people who had a negative impact on you? And how much better did you feel afterwards? I already know it's going to be fucking so many people out there that'll be like instantly better. But I want to know what sort of led up to that point. So remember, how much did you achieve when you minimized your time with people who had a negative impact on you? And how much better did you guys feel afterwards? All right, let me know down below, guys. But anyway, as always, it is your boy T, and you know the podcast, Down to the T, baby. I'm gonna sip here. Let's go. One love to you guys. Thank you so much, everyone who's been supporting, showing the love, you know, sharing all my content and all that stuff too. Especially across all of my social media platforms, you know, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of that stuff. Make sure you jump onto my Instagram too, guys, and any of my other social media platforms. Click on Linktree too, because that'll just give you links to like my YouTube, obviously my podcast here, to eBay where I'm flipping a lot of stuff, doing garage sailing, get some pretty awesome finds over there. On TikTok, I'm posting a lot of positivity short clips just to spread love to everyone and just lift up this environment that I'm trying to build for everyone around here. So check it all out, guys. Oh, plus sports and that stuff, boxing, I'll be showing all my training and all that stuff too, just in the World Gym as well, so just your general weights and NBA cards. I love collecting and all that stuff. So if that's something that you like, make sure you check out my Linktree, guys. I should actually have a link in my YouTube too. I'll have to double check after I edit this video, and I'll check it out below anyway. But people from there, we'll suss it out, guys. But anyway, man, one love. It was actually really good doing this episode today. I actually got like this burst of energy like right before I pressed record, so it was so awesome. You know, just my passion coming out of this. I love discussing these topics, and honestly, if there's something that you guys want me to jump into detail about, you know, hit me up, comment below, DM me, or even just send me a message, and I'd love to reply back and network with a fair few of you guys too. So hit them up, guys. Flood the comments, flood the DMs and all that. You know what? Let's do it, baby. We up. Anyway, that's the end of this podcast, guys. One love. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. Have a blessed week coming up, guys. Go smash those goals. We up. Let's go. Ha!